To counter Russian death drones striking Ukraine, the US is now supplying Ukraine with Switchblade drones, which work on suicide mode. The small drones carry warheads that detonate on impact. Russia, on its part, has been using stealthy suicide drones to attack the Ukrainian army.
Ukraine standing up to Moscow's offensive despite weeks of ravaging assault, showing unparalleled courage and spirit rarely seen in recent times. Showing it can be a match to Moscow's superior military might and far sophisticated weaponry, but Russia on its part has been using stealthy suicide drones to attack the Ukrainian army. These unmanned drones, evading radar and traditional air defense system, can slip past enemy line of fire. This devil in the sky is lethal, using loitering munitions which wait passively in the air, hovering over the target before coming down in one deathly swoop. The drone falls head first along a vertical trajectory similar to kamikazes, a Japanese aircraft loaded with explosives, and making a deliberate suicidal crash on an enemy target. Russia is using these drones to make precision attacks on military targets in Ukraine. Each of them packs a small explosive charge up to 3 kgs. Targets are fed into the drone or through an image uploaded on its control system. The drone then finds its target and drops itself to blow the target into smithereens. These loitering munition drones are multi-purpose and used as part of a swarm of drones, flying silently as fast as 130 km/h with a flight duration of 30 minutes. To counter Russian death drones, the US is now supplying Ukraine with Switchblade drones, which works in similar kamikaze fashion. The small drones made by AeroVironment Ammunition Major carrying warhead detonate on impact. Bureau Report, India Today.
Well, it's day 22 of the Russian assault on Ukraine. 3 weeks on, the country has seen unprecedented death and destruction on its once bustling streets. Kharkiv is the worst-hit city, and Russia continues its attack targeting civilians in Mariupol, where a bomb shelter was attacked. Ukrainians have put up exceptional resistance to the Russians. Ukraine is showing unmatched fighting spirit. Here's the full report.
Markets on fire. Schools shelled. Back-to-back strikes. Ukraine continues to face the unsparing onslaught by Putin's army. As Russia continues its invasion, there's bloodbath on the streets of Kyiv, Kharkiv, Mariupol, and many other cities and towns spread across Ukraine. The second biggest city of Kharkiv paints a picture of destruction. Airstrikes that rocked marketplaces left buildings on fire, smoldering and charred. The relentless attacks by Putin's forces didn't even spare schools. Plumes of smoke were seen emerging from a school that lies in ruins and totally devastated. Another badly hit city, Mariupol, has bodies lying on the streets. Target of multiple daily attacks, the city witnessed massive strike on a drama theatre where hundreds of civilians had taken shelter. The sprawling building was reduced to a pile of debris with hundreds trapped. As the Russian army advances towards the capital, attacks on Kyiv's suburbs continue. Residential buildings were seen on fire, with locals struggling to flee using destroyed bridges. Casualties continue to rise.
The Russian state has become an outspoken terrorist, and it is not ashamed. But it will be responsible for everything. The world is already beginning to understand that without the recognition of Russia as a terrorist state, it will be impossible to restore justice for Ukraine. It will be impossible to restore international order.
Today, in another apartments building.
Boxing legend and Kyiv mayor Vitaly Klitschko didn't mince words, saying Russia is ruthlessly attacking civilians and not just military establishments.
Putin says he's only targeting military targets.
Bullshit. Sorry. Where is military target? This building is military target.
It's day 22 of the invasion, and Russia continues to attack cities, causing heavy damage. The city of Kharkiv continues to be worst hit. A market in Kharkiv was bombed, following which the fire raged on for hours, with smoke engulfing the nearby buildings as well.
Sviatoslav Yurash, who was earlier seen taking up a gun against Russian forces, suffered a massive personal tragedy as he lost his girlfriend Alexandra in a Russian attack.
She will remain that voice which will be speaking to the world every single day from now on.
This hospital in Mariupol is the last one standing in the ruined city, with all others bombed out. Bodies are piling up as those doctors couldn't save are lined up in the basement, since the mortuary in the city is full to the brink. The bodies include those of infants who are grievously hurt. But the Ukrainians refuse to give up, inflicting significant damage on Russian military, targeting Russian tanks firing at shelters across the city of Mariupol. Ukrainian army also shot down a Russian chopper, valiantly fighting back and against insurmountable odds. With Rajesh Pawar and Sari Mirankov in Kyiv, Bureau Report, India Today.
Meanwhile, the Russian invasion on Ukraine has left the country in ruins. Commercial establishments destroyed. The horrifying visuals that have emerged show the extensive damage to the cities of Ukraine. Take a look at this report.
Captivating cathedrals, marvelous monasteries, historic monuments, and cities with grand landscapes. This was Ukraine for tourists holidaying in Europe's second largest country. Charred, engulfed in smoke, raging fire. Once brimming with life, markets, schools, and commercial establishments have now been reduced to rubble. The Russian assault on Ukraine paints a picture of massive devastation and destruction. The city of Mariupol has suffered significant damage to the urban infrastructure. The before and after images show the destruction that have been caused by the Russian troops. The residential buildings, commercial establishments destroyed beyond recognition in back-to-back attacks. In Mariupol, this drama theatre, serving as a shelter for hundreds of civilians, was bombed by Russian troops. The theatre, once home to nights of revelry and art, is now a ghost shelf of itself, with rescuers racing against time to extricate those lying under debris. Another city that has been hit the hardest is Chernihiv. After deadly attacks hit the city for weeks, the streets are filled with bodies. Horrifying images of locals carrying the injured and dead have surfaced that show the fatal aftermath of the attacks. A town in Donetsk region, Makivka, is in ruins. Residential buildings and markets are charred due to repeated shellings and missile attacks by the Russian army. Locals were seen coming together to repair the damage caused by the brutal Russian attacks. Once one of Europe's most beautiful countries, Ukraine lies in ruins. Its body battered, its spirit hurt, and soul aspiring for an end to the naked dance of aggression. Bureau Report, India Today.
Meanwhile, after 3 weeks of waging war, Ukraine and Russia are finally on the negotiation table after 4 rounds of inconclusive talks. The two nations have come down to a 15-point peace plan. Will the delegation from both the nations broker truce? That's the big question.
After 21 days of raging war, there is some hope for truce. Russia and Ukraine are finally in a mood to negotiate. After 4 inconclusive rounds of talks, the fifth one seemed to be a step in the direction of peace. Russia and Ukraine are now trying to chalk out a compromise formula, including neutrality status for Ukraine as one of the options. Under neutral status, Ukraine would become part of European Union but not NATO, like Austria and Sweden. Kremlin has given the green signal to this option.
Он сейчас, по большому счету, он сейчас всерьез обсуждается в увязке, конечно же, с гарантиями безопасности. Это ровно то, что вот президент Путин говорил в феврале на одной из своих пресс-конференций. Любые возможные варианты, любые общеприемлемые.
Kyiv, however, has ruled out the Russian proposal. Ukraine wants a legally binding security pact signed by international partners. Ukrainian and Russian delegations have come up with the 15-point tentative peace plan. It lists the issue that needs to be resolved before a compromise. These include Ukraine declaring neutrality, limiting the Ukrainian armed forces, renouncing Kyiv's ambitions to join NATO, and prohibiting Ukraine from hosting foreign military bases in exchange of security. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has claimed the talks are heading in the right direction.
Це важливо. Складно, але важливо, тому що будь-яка війна завершується угодою. Зустрічі тривають. Як мені доповідають, позиції на переговорах звучать вже реалістичніше. Проте ще необхідний час, щоб рішення були в інтересах саме України.
While talks are going on, Russia's relentless bombing of Ukraine continues. The question everyone is asking now is, how soon can the two warring nations reach an agreement? Bureau Report, India Today.
Meanwhile, the fight over hijab continues despite the Karnataka High Court's order upholding the ban on the use headscarves on campuses a day after 6 students did not turn up for classes at a college in Udupi after the hijab ban. The college's vice principal, Yashpal Suvarna, has accused the girls of belonging to terrorist organizations. There is complete shutdown in several districts of Karnataka after state's leading cleric, Maulana Sagir Ahmad Khan Rashidi, called for a state bandh. The Campus Front of India, the students' wing of Popular Front, has backed the call for the shutdown. Meanwhile, graffiti supporting hijab surfaced in Hospet, the district headquarters of Vijayanagar. The graffiti that said hijab is our dignity was later removed by the district administration. 4 separate cases were registered in 3 police stations in the district in connection with the graffiti incident.
The men behind these 6 students are some other organization. It is not an issue. It is a created issue by anti-social activity organization. They are blaming the judges means what is there? Being a citizen of India, if you won't respect the court order means it's not too fit to be in India, according to me. Blaming a High Court judge, whoever being a citizen of India, blaming a High Court judge means is against our constitution means he is a terrorist. I'm telling directly, I'm telling. I don't care for anyone.
Meanwhile, the Aam Aadmi Party will send former cricketer Harbhajan Singh to the Rajya Sabha. AAP is set to get 5 Rajya Sabha seats immediately and then in a month's time too.
Oh, it's got him. Harbhajan Singh has done the damage. They wanted that.
That's the one that swirled in the air.
There's no last hurrah for India's spin hero.
मैं आज क्रिकेट के हर फॉर्मेट से रिटायरमेंट ले रहा हूं। हालांकि ज़हनी तौर पे मैं रिटायरमेंट पहले ही ले चुका था, लेकिन अनाउंस नहीं कर पाया।
Barely 3 months after announcing his retirement from all forms of cricket, the 41-year-old Turbinator looks set for a leap into national parliament. According to party sources, Punjab's new Aam Aadmi Party government has shortlisted Harbhajan Singh as a candidate for a Rajya Sabha slot. Elections to 5 of the 7 upper house seats from the state are scheduled for March 31st.
सचिन जब अपने बल्ले से सचिन तेंदुलकर अपने बल्ले से छक्के मारता था तो उसके बल्ले के अंदर जलंधर होता था। हमारी हॉकी टीम जब ओलंपिक में मेडल लेके आती है तो उनकी बॉल के अंदर और उनके बल्ले के अंदर जलंधर होता है। तो दोस्तों, आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार बनेगी, देश की सबसे बड़ी स्पोर्ट्स यूनिवर्सिटी जलंधर के अंदर बनाएंगे।
Oh, big appeal. Yes, got him. RWW. Oh, he's got him. Best ball. Yes, he's got him. Oh, he's got him.
The first Indian player to take a hat-trick in the Test cricket, Bhaji is also likely to be in for another new ball game. As head of a sports university, the Aam Aadmi Party has promised to build in Punjab. With more than 100 tests, 236 ODIs, 28 international T20s and a sterling performance at the Indian Premier League to his credit, the Turbinator is the latest to join the ranks of lawmakers from the country's cricketing fraternity. With Satyendra Chauhan and Pankaj Jain, Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, with that, I'm going to go into a quick break. To stay with us on the other side is our fact check segment. Warm welcome. You're watching our fact check segment where we bust certain claims masquerading to be facts on social media platforms and WhatsApp groups. There's a fact check here that RTI reply showed 89 Kashmiri Pandits were killed in Jammu and Kashmir. The fact, Jammu and Kashmir police say over 200 Kashmiri Pandits were killed. The RTI reply is only about 1990. With that quick fact check, time for us to go into a quick break. You do stay with us. On the other side is To The Point.